changes, growth, acceleration in order to effectuate a trajectory and not attaching to an outcome, but a trajectory. And my fear or my misunderstanding of New Year's resolutions stem from the idea of our awareness and what we can and can't be aware of. And so let me just play this quick clip for everyone, and then I'm going to comment on my takeaway that is an epiphany for New Year's resolutions. Go ahead, Matt, play it. Go ahead and play it.
I've spent 54 years telling people there's no such thing as New Year resolutions. There's only New Day resolutions. You got to have both. Our bodies are incapable of being aware of progress in itself. In a daily activity context, for those who don't believe in New Year's resolutions and only believe in the New Day resolutions, you're missing out. You're missing out because we're not capable of seeing progress day to day. It's impossible. So as we institute these great behaviors with the great meaning aligned with what we think we want, and all we do is let them sit within the context of a day, without putting them into a context of a week, a month, a quarter, or a year, we are diminishing our capacity because we are lowering our awareness to the progress that we're making. And if we are not aware of progress, two things happen. We stop doing the good progress and we keep on doing the bad progress. And so we end up quitting good behavior because we don't see progress, because we don't use the milestones that are given to us of the day, the week, the month, the quarter, and the year in order to effectuate an awareness of progress. New Year's is to celebrate the progress that we are incapable of seeing day to day, so that we can be more inspired, encouraged, and have more momentum to create more progress next year. Happy New Year, everyone. May you enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. May all your wishes come true.
So I took this clip because I think, not only is it indicative that I don't know what I don't know, and I'm constantly changing my mind, I am, as always, not fearful, but encouraged by my hypocrisy, the hypocrisy learned by having an open mind and open heart and open hands, by learning lessons. Because for over 30 years, I've been diminishing my capacity because I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. But I believe in them today. I believe that we diminish our capacity by not knowing what we don't know, meaning that we are incapable of human beings as seeing progress. And this is a very dangerous thing, because if we don't see progress, we quit the good things and we keep doing the bad things. It's that simple. I'm going to repeat it. Because we can't see progress, we quit doing the good things and we keep doing the bad things. Why? Because we are a society of instant gratification. We're looking for instant results. When we make a phone call, when we get food, whatever, we want instant results. And we're so used to and conditioned to get instant results that if we don't get them, we don't think anything's happening. But that's not true. That's not true about the energy of money. That's not true about the energy of relationships. That's not true about the energy of behaviors and practices. We are incapable of seeing instant progress. And ironically, the only thing that truly happens instantly is progress. And the directive or the direction of that progress is controlled by your behavior, by what you do, say, think, believe, and feel. And I want everyone to have the faith that progress is happening, because if you have the faith that progress is happening, you're going to continue to see and to gain the progress eventually. And if you don't have that faith, you're going to continue to do things that interfere with your potential. And you're going to wonder why you're in the same place or worse every single year. So how do we reconcile the fact that we are incapable of seeing progress with the week, the month, and the year, with New Year's resolutions? Is that we can create baselines every year, every week, or every month, or even every day, which I do with the daily practices. But I think it's important to work within the construct of linear time, to work within the construct of a year, to see where our deltas are, our changes are, our progress is. And so if we notate here at the beginning of 2023, according to certain trajectories that we want, objectives that we have, milestones that we want to surpass, if we use New Year's as a baseline, a resolve of where we are today, to create a greater affirmation of the faith that good behavior creates good progress creates good results, not necessarily the results that we want, but better. And within the context of understanding this, we now get a prioritization of our trajectories, and we also get an understanding of where our baselines are, because baselines are contributed from an energetic and genetic inheritance. I'll give you an example. If I wanted to create a potential of my basketball playing capability, I could take a baseline today as I'm turning 55 at 5'7" and 175 pounds of where my baseline is, genetically and energetically. My baseline is created by my skills and the knowledge that I have today. And I can create a baseline by taking an inventory of where my skills and knowledge of basketball are today and basketball playing. And I could practice basketball every day, and every day I won't see progress. But if I utilize my New Year's resolution, my New Year's resolve, in order to effectuate a delta, I can make a decision based off of my own values. Do I want to continue practicing basketball? Determined by two factors. One, my baseline, because it's beneficial to choose a baseline that may be higher genetically and energetically, but not necessarily, because if you have a great desire for it, not only will it allow you to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of that potential, even though that potential may be far lower than other people's baselines, but it also allows us to prioritize the trajectory for the next year. And I think a year of time is a perfect amount of linear time, man-made constructive time, in order to effectuate the prioritization of the trajectories for the next year, to incorporate in the daily practices where we evolve every day with what we want, who we can help, who can help us, how to get it done, prioritizing each day to be productive, accessible, and gracious, to apply our why, to aggregate and compound its energy and relationship with the genetic inheritance that we've received. So instead of teaching, as I have for the last 30 years, that we need new day resolutions, we also need week, month, and year resolutions to determine the delta or the progress, to actually be aware of the progress, to encourage and inspire us not only to continue good behavior, but to prioritize our good behavior by what we want, who we can help, how to get it done, and doing it now, knowing our now to be efficient, effective, and statistically successful, so we can have more trajectories each day, more trajectories each year. In other words, allow us to apply our why, having the faith that the good behaviors, although we're not aware of and incapable of being aware of the progress that we make each day, that we have now a mechanism of new year resolutions to see the deltas, to see the progress, to see our potential, and to understand the differential between a baseline on January 1st, 2023, in our entrepreneurial journey, in our parental journey, in our health journey, in our worthiness journey, whatever, in our nutrition journey, whatever it may be. We have given it enough time that we can quantify the progress that we're making and have more faith that we're prioritizing our trajectories in a more efficient, effective, and statistically successful way, and continually being inspired in spirit with intellect, intuition, that we are improving, which keeps us away from the basic premise of my takeaway of the year is that good behaviors create good results, bad behaviors create bad results, and we cannot be aware of the progress. And so we need to have daily practices utilizing faith and access to incorporate what we want, who we can help, who can help us, how best to get that done with activities we have planned, don't have planned, sleep, activities we have paid for, we don't get paid for, and prioritize as an antidote. Prioritize as an antidote to the procrastination and the feeling of being overwhelmed that's created by not being aware of progress in order to apply RY, the utilization of fear to get us up, get us back up, get us started, get us back started, or to get us out of our own way. To identify and utilize fear, to apply RY, to remind us, remember, and recollect there's something bigger than us that loves us more than our moms, so that we are happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy, and we get rid of the stuff we're doing to interfere with it each and every day, each and every week, each and every month, and each and every year. That's the idea behind the resolve that's necessary to continue to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, which is created by good behavior and dissipating, dissolving, and disappearing the bad behaviors, mentally, physically, and spiritually, of what we do, say, think, believe, and feel. That's the takeaway of the day. Jake, why don't we reset the room and go ahead and have everyone else share their golden nuggets of the year.
Thank you, Dave. That was an incredible takeaway of the year. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. There's a link at the top of the Clubhouse, which is, of course, the Playbook with David's podcast, Why 99% of New Year's Resolutions Fail. So if you want to check that out, you can do that here at the top of the Clubhouse. Let's continue to share the room here. You can do that at the bottom. There's a little square with an arrow. Share the room with your friends, family, the whole community, and let's continue to share love and positivity. So if you do that, share the room. You can share it on Twitter, Facebook, text messages, and of course, you can share it on Clubhouse. Let's also take a second here. Follow the people next to you. Follow the people on stage. This really is the best room here on Clubhouse. Let's continue to build out this incredible community. So with that in mind, as Dave mentioned, we want to bring people to share your golden nuggets, your takeaways of the year. There's been a lot of people that have been raising their hands and back channel me. So with that in mind, let's just get right to it. So welcome, everybody. Let's start with Limitless Siga. Siga, if you could please unmute yourself and share your takeaway of the year. Welcome.
Good morning, Jakey of the Beatty. I just love saying that.
Good morning.
Dave's got me hooked on that. So Dave, oh, by the way, before I get into my question, I loved watching that video. I talked about it yesterday morning here on the stage in Breakfast of Champions, your video on giving. But I've been waiting for Friday, Dave, just so I can ask you this. I know I could have sent it to you, but I wanted it where other people might benefit from it. I was watching a video of Dr. Wayne Dyer, and he quoted Patanjali from the Yoga Sutras. And here's what he said: that if you remain steadfast in your abstention from thoughts of harm directed against others, all living creatures cease to feel fear and enmity in your presence. I was like, wow. And I thought about it deep. I thought maybe this is why the saints, you see them with animals and pigeons just coming to them, and people feel peace in their presence. So I just wanted to see through your eyes, David, what do you think of that Patanjali saying from the Yoga Sutras?
I'm quite familiar with it and in total agreement, but the understanding of it is the understanding of the mind, the collective consciousness, and our own individual part and piece of the collective consciousness, so that if we are at ease, we put others at ease. If we are at dis-ease, we actually become a dis-ease to others. And that's on all 5 levels of intention, as Dr. Wayne Dyer also had extrapolated from both Patanjali's as well as the Bhagavad Gita, in that we have these intentions and energetic of what we do, which creates an energy of what we say as well, a frequency of what we think, of what we believe, and what we feel. And if we're at ease in what we do, say, think, believe, and feel, we put other at ease. And we can put into the construct of our daily activities where we run across people that are at dis-ease in the physical, in the spiritual, and in the mental, in what they do, say, think, feel, and believe. There's no reason, there's no physical reason why if someone says something to us, it should put us at dis-ease. There's no reason if somebody does something that we witness that it should put us at dis-ease. But watch a scary movie. It puts you at dis-ease. And that's just simply by witnessing it. There's also at a higher level of intention when someone's feeling dis-ease or believing dis-ease or thinking dis-ease, we're not cognizant of it, but we also are aware in a frequency state of that dis-ease. It's damaging our ease. So when you are at ease, you put everything else at ease. When you are at dis-ease, you are put everything else at dis-ease in your own incremental impact determinative upon the connectivity that you have, which those things that are most relative to you, the pieces, people, the places, the things, the plants, the animals, it doesn't matter. And so the reminder, the remembrance and recollection that we should be thinking about is that the more at ease we are, the more at ease the collective is. And more importantly, I think the more at ease the people, places, and things that are most relative to us are. And that relationship is, it dissipates as it goes farther away in the theory of relativity. So 100% agree with it. I want people to take the extract of the golden nugget from my Limitless Siga, that the best thing we can do is be at ease, to be influencers in 2023, as I say, not influencers. Don't spread the flu, don't spread the dis-ease, be an influencer and be in the flow, be at ease. And it's the best way to give, receive, and witness is to be at ease yourself. And so practice identifying your interference, your fear, practice identifying your dis-ease, and understand how to utilize it to motivate yourself or to get out of your own way to clear that interference so that you can establish a greater flow, a greater intellect, intuition, and inspiration, utilizing your skills, your knowledge, and your desire. I love the takeaway. What a golden nugget to be at ease. And forgiving thoughts and forgiveness is a key element to being at ease, as you know. So I want to thank everyone and forgive everyone, especially myself. I love it. Thank you. Jay.
Thank you so much, Siga. Thank you for sharing. Let's bring up Jackie G. Jackie, if you want to unmute yourself, welcome to the room and feel free to share your takeaway of the year. Welcome. Okay, we'll come back to Jackie. Let's go with Yolanda, Mrs. Right Time. If you're here, if you want to unmute yourself, welcome. And if you want to share your takeaway of the year.
We have a connectivity issue.
I'm not sure. Let's see, Mindy Staley, are you here? Do you want to share your takeaway of the year?
Sure, I'm here and I'm ready.
Welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, Jake. And thank you, David. I'm excited to talk with you today. And this is my first time in this room. I'm usually in school during this time, so I'm really excited for this opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you.
So I would say that I mentioned that I'm an art teacher, and my takeaway for this year is that since I teach art, it's been my interest over the years to do something different every year, because it's the nature of art to be different, to be unique, to be something that people see and are surprised by. sort of. And so what I've learned, I think more specifically this year, is that in behavior, you don't apply those same fundamentals. And I don't think I realized that until this year. And so with my mindset and with my fitness and with my behavior, I've practiced more frequency this year than I have ever before, and noticed what you were just saying earlier, progress. And I think it's made such a big difference. I've been reading the scrolls along with Glenn and doing the same things every day. I've been practicing doing the same kind of things as habits every day more than I ever have before. And I think as a creative, it's been so different for me. And I've noticed that frequency has really elevated me and allowed me to do lots of different things on a different level than I ever realized I could before. And so I think it really shifted my mindset and helped me to realize that when I really pay attention to what my core values are and work in habits that develop frequency with those core values, then I can do those creative things that lead into that artistic practice that complement each other. So it's been a whole mind shift. That's my takeaway for 2022.
What a great takeaway. And, everyone, takes and resonates into the consistent, persistent pursuit of their potential because of the daily practices. The daily practices allow you to make those choices to grow, change, and accelerate by, as an art teacher, knowing what you want personally, experientially, giving and receiving wise, who can help you and who can you help. And I think your example, and you are an example of the differentiators in understanding why you, as an authentic essence, resonate in a certain way. And that resonation is a congruency that exists between the vibration or frequency that you are. And you can only be aware of that which vibrates or has a frequency equal to or less than the things that you are aware of. And so as we start to look internally at ourselves, utilizing daily practices in a pragmatic methodology of what, who, how, now, and applying a why, we have more options, opportunities, and touches of favor because we are more in the flow. And I love the last part of your takeaway, which was you started to see progress or impact on your daily activities that you get paid for, even because of things that you had never done, said, thought, believed, or felt. And, understanding the entirety of a consciousness, the entirety of our practices within that consciousness, then gives us more options, opportunities, and touches of favor that allow us to accelerate according to the prioritization of our goals, objectives, or what I call trajectories. And we can only prioritize so many trajectories each day because we're limited in the day by 24 hours. The past is unlimited, so all we have to do is give the meaning to the inflection points, defining moments, lessons, masterminds, breakfast of champions sessions, historical relevancies that are aligned with the new trajectories that we choose each day, or the continued trajectories that we choose each day. And it's unlimited, our potential. It's limitless of what our potential is according to those trajectories that create these changes, deltas, progress that we're unaware of each day. But to really look at what you are saying, it's reconciling a day that you now see how this continuum, this conscious continuum, allows us to create a bigger, broader spectrum, a bigger vessel that gives us more options, opportunities, and touches of favor. And though it's counterintuitive that your activities that you choose to do would enhance the teaching of art and the opportunities that exist within art, it absolutely is a great example, and you're a great example of how we expand, grow, and accelerate. So thank you for that golden nugget. Thank you for a perfect case study on how we expand, accelerate, and grow what a great takeaway from this year. And we would love for you to join us on the replays. We know that you're giving back to our children in the greatest way by empowering them. And we need more teachers like you we need more teachers like you that do reconcile the idea of co-creation with a pragmatic lifestyle that is limited by the 24 hours of a day, that does have financial obligations, responsibilities, and energy in it. And we need more people that can reconcile the idea of being co-creators with the responsibility and accountability that exists in a pragmatic world as we choose to participate in the social and economic system. But thank you so much. Jakey Bakey, we're halfway there. Why don't you reset the room? Let's all invite more people in. We also have a guide for today. So if you want a training guide for today on the New Year's resolution, just go ahead, email me. Jake will give you the email address, or, as an end of the year gift, if you'd like a book, a guide, an exercise, if you want me to sign a book, I'll pay for the book and send it to you. I'll ship it to you, pay for shipping. It's fine. I'm just trying to empower you and give you some practical tools to the unpragmatic, impractical world and universe that we live in. Go ahead, Jake. Why don't you reset the room?
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your takeaways of the year so far. As Dave mentioned, if you want his New Year's resolution guide or even a book, of course, he'll pay for shipping too. Just email David. His email is david@dmeltzer.com. david@dmeltzer.com. Let's continue to share the room. You can do that at the bottom. There's a square with an arrow. Share with your friends, your family, the whole community. Let's continue to share and drive as many people as we can to this Breakfast with Champions. So with that in mind, we are sharing your takeaways of the year. So if you have a takeaway you'd like to share, feel free to raise your hand or back channel me, and we will aim to bring you up. So far, incredible takeaways. Let's try to bring up Jackie G again. Jackie, if you want to try unmuting yourself, let's see if we got the mic to work. All right, it looks like Jackie's not working. Let's try Mrs. Right Time, Yolanda. Do you want to try unmuting yourself? Okay, it looks like Yolanda's mute's not working too. Let's go with Monica. Monica, if you're here, do you want to unmute yourself and share your takeaway of the year?
Sure, I am here. Welcome, everybody. And thank you, David, again, for an incredible segment. I will say that my takeaway is actually really being bold and asking for help and reaching out. One of the best things I did was to reach out to you and start telling you who I am. And you're like, oh yeah, I love the Course in Miracles. So I think being bold and getting out of your comfort zone has been the biggest really learning that I've done this year. And it's a tough one because we're always up against our own resistance and our own comfort zone. But I found, it's scary. It makes me sweat. It makes me not know what I'm going to say next. But if I don't speak up and share what I'm up to, I really have to, I won't be able to be effective with people. And so being willing to be vulnerable, being willing to share your heart, and also really asking for help and seeing who could connect with you. There's tons of people that really want to support you, but you don't know that if you're not willing to show up and be vulnerable and talk to people. And that's really what I've learned the most from your program too, David, is just be aware that you have people there. So ask for what you need, and don't be afraid to do that, even though it might bring up fear. Always does, but that's how you get through it, having the courage to be bold. So that's what I wanted to share.
I love it. Thank you, Monica, for sharing that. That is actually my takeaway from my life. People ask me, what's the one thing you would tell your 18-year-old self? It's a common interview question. And I always say it's the same thing I tell myself today. When I was 28, 38, and 48, I wish I was telling myself the same thing. And I think it's so curious and interesting how counterintuitive life is, how counterintuitive it is. We use words like vulnerable and bold to describe asking for help. I use words like remember, remind, and recollect after years of this takeaway of a life that the easiest and fastest way to get to where I want to be is to ask for help. To ask for help. And whatever you define it as, a remembrance, a reminder, or a recollection of the oneness, of the influence that we have. The idea behind Breakfast of Champions and everything else that I do is to create a community of people that want to help each other and know people that want to help each other. It's that simple, to maximize our skills, knowledge, and desire and utilize it in a coincidental way, an expected coincidence, a welcomed coincidence of the extraordinary, of the inexplicable, all of these areas that, believe it or not, Monica, I learned from you and others from the Course in Miracles of understanding the complexity and simplicity and the counterintuitive nature of our existence, our physical existence, our spiritual existence, and our mental existence. And those aggregated together create an awareness or a consciousness that's individual and collective, which is why I use the words reminder, recollection, and remembrance from my individual conscious to the collective conscious. And if we don't utilize courage and boldness and vulnerability to ask as a reminder, recollection, and remembrance of the collective consciousness, of the mind, of the whole, of the one, regardless of your social, economic, political, exterior differences that you see, the key to this all, that little key, right? So many people live their lives, they're going to go all the way around the wall, they're going to go over the wall, they're going to go through the wall, they're going to go under the wall. But that little key is so easy. Just ask. Just ask. Find someone who sits in a situation that you want to be in and ask them a simple question. Do you know anyone that can help me? Inclusive in the person to help is themselves, but it's an easy way to remind, remember, and recollect the oneness, the collective consciousness, the fastest way to get to where we want to be, by recognizing and acknowledging the appreciation, by asking and continuing the flow. Asking is the final step of flow. Most people live their life in appreciation, not every day, right? They haven't had full coherence of remembering to say thank you all the time and saying thank you all the time, even though it's free and takes 0.1 seconds. They haven't always acknowledged what they had, because the only way they can acknowledge what they have is to not have it anymore. So the mechanism of acknowledgement in the 3-step process of being in the flow is to give it away or to lose it, have it manipulated or stolen from you. But the one counterintuitive piece, the biggest golden nugget of my life, is that in order to be in the flow, you need to not only appreciate everything you had, to add value to it by helping others and being of service and value in all quantitative measures, and also acknowledging, acquiring the knowledge of what you have by giving it away or learning from the losses, the mistakes, the failures, the setbacks, when we're oversold, back-end sold, manipulated, lied to, or cheated, or stolen from. But we can't be in the flow unless we ask for more. We have not confirmed the faith that there's more than enough unless we ask for more. We're living in a zero-sum game, a scarce world of negotiation, of not enough. Instead, take this golden nugget, the takeaway of my life, more than the takeaway of my year, of some New Year's resolve to quantitatively be able to acknowledge what I have progressed in, but more importantly, a bigger and much more useful takeaway. Ask. Be bold, be courageous, be vulnerable, however you define it, but ask. Ask every day in person, on the phone, via email, via social media, traditional media. Ask. But in order to ask, you got to know one thing. You got to know what's important to you. And the only way that you know what's important to you is to utilize the 5 daily practices of what do I want today, and a trajectory of what I think I want in the future, giving meaning to the past in alignment with what I think I want in the future. Who can I help and who can help me? And then how can I get this done? By asking the right people to be helped and to get help from, in order to prioritize my ask, prioritize my giving, receiving, and witnessing. Prioritize it by doing it now. 100% of the things we do now get done exponentially more statistically successful, efficient, and effective way. And that's how we apply our why. Applying our why is basically the appreciation, acknowledgement, and asking that we're one. We are one, happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy, and at ease. What are you doing to interfere with it? I'll tell you what it is. You're not asking. What a beautiful way to take a takeaway for the year. That's my takeaway for the life. I'll stick to my takeaway for the year in the quantitative analysis of progress, but that's the takeaway, the golden nugget of all. Ask, ask, ask. And if anybody wants to ask me for those exercises, guides, and books, just ask me. Go ahead, DM me, email me. It doesn't matter. That's why I give all my books away. I pay for the books, shipping, books, audio books. I don't care. I'm here to empower all of you, to empower others, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun, which is how I define this journey of happiness, this enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, not mine, your potential, according to the baselines and the progress made this year and every year. All right, Jakey Bakey, we're rocking and rolling now. We got a little momentum going, a little fired up here at the end of 2022. It's a New Year's Adam Day again. We had Christmas Adam Day. We celebrate, goes Adam, New Year's Adam Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. So I like to celebrate by eating ribs and apple pie in congruence with the first chapter of the Bible for Adam's Day. And then I move to Eve, and then I move to the actual day itself. But as I digress with a little bit of creativity, go ahead, let's reset the room.
We were at New Year's Adams Day. New Year's Adam Day. Welcome everybody to New Year's Adam Day. If you want David's email and you want to reach out, just email David, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. Let's continue to share the room here in the Breakfast of Champions. This is David's training he's been doing for over 23 years, and today's topic is your takeaway of the year. There's been some incredible takeaways so far. We have a lot more people who'd like to share. So let's continue to share the room. Invite your friends, invite your family, invite the whole community, and let's continue to build here. So next up, let's bring up Lisa Wood. Lisa, if you can please unmute yourself and welcome to the room.
Good morning. Happy New Year to everyone. A thought came to my mind, David, when I heard your video and the talking about dis-ease and the flow. And there was an analogy that I had come across, somebody had said, is if you're struggling with emotion, and my takeaway from this year is really from learning with Amelia about how short an actual emotion stays within the body, but yet we can capture it and hold on to it for years and decades to where it affects our entire body. And I've heard from experts say when you trap that dis-ease in your body because of it might have started with an emotion, that people have ended up really experiencing cancer and ultimately death. And it made me sit back and realize that we've got to let that flow out. And the analogy was, if you're really struggling with an emotion, picture yourself sitting on the bank of a river, and the river has different flow states of the water, and it's got bends in the landscape of it. And if you have all of your emotions and ideas and dreams, hopes, wishes, past hurts, traumas, whatever, put each one in a little boat, and you're going to watch them flow past you. And then eventually when they're going to get past a bend and you can't see them anymore. And as a creative, I love the mental visuals of what analogies can mean, but it really was a good way for me to picture how things may seem so strong, but they are going to, if you let them flow past you rather than bog them up in a dam, you're going to let that, you're going to be healthier mentally, spiritually, physically. And so just wanted to share that with you guys, and hopefully that might help somebody. But I love the conversation. Thank you so much, and cheers to 23.
What a great takeaway. And let me help expand on the idea of emotions. Behaviors are emotions. Money is emotion. Emotions are energy in motion. And because we're unaware of the progress of those emotions, we continue, as I state, to quit the positive emotions faster and continue the negative emotions longer. And that's why they start to create a genetic and energetic inheritance, not just for us, but from us to our own children and grandchildren, great grandchildren. And so I think it's really important for us to understand and utilize the visualization as you have, or other things that you can utilize in order to raise our awareness, which leads into my new epiphany of I'm going to start utilizing New Year's resolves as baselines to determine progress, to make sure that I'm maximizing my daily activities in a positive emotion, in a positive movement of energy, in a trajectory of what I think I want. Open-minded, of course, and of course, supportive of my hypocritical nature of learning that I may not agree with what I said yesterday. I love to hire hypocrites, and I am a hypocrite because for 30 years, I've been telling people that New Year resolutions are ridiculous. You should have New Day resolutions. But now I'm saying there is a resolve to have a quantitative analysis by the day, the week, the month, and especially the year to see the changes so we can prioritize the trajectories. So we can identify the emotions that are serving us and those that are putting us at dis-ease. And emotions are energy in motion. Money is an energy, behavior is an energy, what we do is an energy, what we say is an energy, what we think is an energy, what we believe is an energy, and what we feel is an energy. And energy itself, as you said, does not have to stay within the context of our self, our individual minds, our individual consciousness. And we certainly don't need to spread negative emotions. Instead, we should be aware of the positive emotions and continually enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit, utilizing the positive emotions towards our own potential and learn from that. What a great summary to what we're talking about today in so many different levels. To be able to understand emotions and how they are the same or inclusive of behavior. And if you're going to continue to not be aware of the progress you're making, you will, just in a natural flow, like a river, tend to have more negative emotions than positive ones that are aggregating, compounding, and accelerating your journey, while others are living at ease in the flow and continually with faith, creating positive emotions, behaviors, money, relationships, etc., that are accelerating towards what they think they want and continually evaluating them by the day, the week, the month, and the year. That is awesome. We got about 13 minutes left, Jake. That's I know people are lining up on every platform. Go ahead. Let's bring the next takeaway.
Let's do it. Willie, welcome to the clubhouse. You want to unmute yourself and share your takeaway of the year?
Good morning, David. How are we doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hope you're having a great holiday. This year is along these lines, just to kind of iterate on what we're talking about. And you say that often, and it's hard to practice, but I've been working on it like a habit. And it's starting to work more and more. And I think that compounding effect of surrounding yourself with good people, the right people, and then finding people that can help you get to that ease, to get to that thought process. So just that simplicity of one thought, and here we are.
Yeah, and just to reiterate that, right? We're one thought away from being at ease, for being in the flow. We're one thought away from a better place, a better position, a better situation. We're one thought away from surrounding ourselves with the right people and the right ideas. We're one thought away from showing me your future, because showing me your friends will show me your future. And I love the idea because it puts into context when these emotions are moving in the wrong direction, that we are just one thought away from putting ourselves back into good behavior, back into good emotions, back into progress towards a trajectory that we think we want. And, you know, utilizing the simplicity, but also the complexity and power of the mind, knowing that we're only one thought away from ease. And now we know the exponential amplified effect of ease, that we put others at ease by being at ease, thanks to Monica. And we know that by utilizing ease, that we are in the flow, which makes it more efficient, effective, and statistically successful, more intellectual, intuitive, and inspirational, which provides us a greater acceleration in statistical success on the journey to what we want or better. And what a great takeaway, what a great iteration of lessons. And I always say, where there's a will, there's a way. And thank you for showing us that way with one simple thought and one simple nugget to change our lives. So thank you, Will.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Have a great New Year. All right. I love that name, Will. Anyway, Jake, where there's a will, there's a way. And you certainly have a great will for such a young entrepreneur. So indicative of that will and the will we just spoke to, let's bring up someone else that has great will.
Let's do it. There's so many people. And yes, when there's a will, there's a way. Let's bring up Colleen. Colleen, what's your takeaway of the year? Welcome.
Hey everybody, happy new year. I'm so excited to share so many really great lessons this year during this session, between just managing time to influencers and influencers. But my takeaway this year was one of Dave's oldest sayings that I really just dived into, and it's be kind to your future self. And in really understanding that, it's figuring out how to play the long game. And so that was a really big takeaway, because understanding that people are playing checkers and you need to be playing chess was critically important to understanding how to just manage what we want to do with the business and where we're going to be going for next year.
I love it. Well, the fact that Colleen is here is heartwarming to me, but also indicative of, creating a community. Obviously, Colleen's the president of my company, and it's early still here on a holiday, but it's important to her to be a participant in this perception. And I just want to, give a shout out. I know Jake is here every week, and Matt and Mike, and all of the great people I've been able to surround myself in the best business that I've ever been a part of as an intelligent follower. But this year for you, Colleen, has been a great takeaway for me, because it's only a matter of time. I brought up this on the show this morning. I don't know where I saw it with Michael Jordan or heard it, because I'm blessed to do so much, so many things. But what you're talking about, playing chess instead of checkers, really remembers and recollects a great quote from most likely the greatest competitor of all times, a guy named Michael Jordan that played for the Chicago Bulls. He said, "I never lost a basketball game. I just ran out of time." You talked about playing the long game. If you don't have that perspective that you're winning, that there can be arbitrary and capricious framework put upon your journey, like a 60-minute play period or a timeout or a day, a week, a month, a year. But if you don't realize that you're winning and it's just a matter of time, that you've never lost the game, you may have been down or behind in a certain period of time made by man, a man-made construct of a day, a week, a month, or a year, but you're winning. And if you take that long perspective and you work within the context of behavioral or emotions and aggregating good behaviors and good emotions, even though we can't be aware of the progress, you haven't lost. None of us here in this community have lost anything. We may have run out of time this year, but we're still playing and enjoying the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of our own potential. All of us are like the greatest competitor of all time. All of us have not lost. We've just ran out of time this year. And let's go ahead and keep playing, because there's much more and many more games that we can participate in to accelerate the behaviors and emotions that aggregate and accelerate to be in a better place, a better situation than we ever dreamed of. There is something bigger than you, an infinite amount of time for everyone and everything. And we need to understand that we are most productive, accessible to that flow and accessing what we want through that flow, and gracious, always finding the light, the love, and the lessons in all the activities we have planned. We don't have planned even our sleep, all the activity we get paid for and we don't get paid for. Play the long game, play chess. You have not lost. You've never lost. You just ran out of time this year. Now we are in another extended period called 2023. Keep playing, keep doing your best, keep learning lessons, and keep having fun. And I promise you that the delta next year will be even greater, and the prioritization of the baseline trajectories will be even more important to you, creating those efficiencies, effectiveness, and statistical success, creating abundance and ease, not just for you, but for the collective. Not just for you, but for the collective, knowing what you want, who you can help, how best to get it done, prioritize accordingly, and applying your why with intellect, intuition, and inspiration. What a beautiful takeaway. You are a beautiful person. Congratulations on everything. And you are a testament to I must be doing something right. I must be kind to my future self to have you be the president of my company and in my life. As what I call my oldest adopted daughter. Thank you for everything you do. Jakey Bakey as my youngest adopted son. Go ahead, set the room.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Colleen. I think we are all so appreciative with you and grateful for you. So thank you for all that
Thank
you do
you.
and sharing your takeaway of the year. We've got 4 minutes here. I know we want to get as many people as possible, but we are in the Breakfast with Champions. Welcome, everyone. This is David's training he's been doing for over 23 years, and this is sharing your takeaways of the year. If anyone would like David's training guides or books, free book, just email him, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. So let's try to bring up Jackie G again. Jackie, I know you've been trying to fix your mic. Let's see if it works. Want to try it? Okay, Jackie, we'll get you next time. Let's bring up Glenda. Glenda, please unmute yourself and feel free to share your takeaway of the year.
Hi, thank you so much. David, I just love listening to you. Your words are magic. I also received your book in Canada, Connected to Goodness, and I am really enjoying reading it right now. And it couldn't be the best book that I've read for the end of the year. Just magic for me. My takeaway this year is one of my major problems is I've always gotten in my own way. And I take for granted things that I do that I think that they're simple and everybody should do. And I just recently discovered something that I've been doing for 25 years and took it for granted. And when I spoke out and told people what I had been doing, I have 2 brothers that are mentally challenged. And for the past 25 years, I've been their support, their advocate. I've done everything by finding programs, finding jobs, helping them, train them, giving them more skills. And when my parents passed away, finding a proper home that they could live in and be safe and have the care and support on a 24-hour basis. And when I spoke out to a group of people, of mothers who were sort of going through the beginning of their challenges, I'm now entering at the end of the challenge because my brothers are now 70 and 65, and I'm actually getting things in place, or actually most of it is already in place. So the time comes when they leave us, it is all set up as I've had to do because my parents didn't do all of the things that were necessary. And I sort of took everything for granted that I did, that everybody else would do with these. And just found out that there were so many people that are struggling with this. And this actually, now that I've spoken up, has opened up a whole new area of a career for me, because I've now been approached to be a speaker for a group, and also to start now doing some coaching for people that have not been able to come to the decisions or the realizations that I've had to. So it's been a huge opening of my eyes of what I take for granted. I shouldn't be. That's it.
Amazing. And as I turned 55 in January here, the 111 kid, and my mom starting to diminish and have a few mental challenges in a probably much more subtle way, there is such a great need. And as difficult as it must have been through your journey, thank goodness that you have had that journey so that you now can empower people to help them be at ease through a very difficult circumstance that is growing immensely throughout the world. So bless you so much. If you need any help at all, please let me help you build your own reach and capacity. More people need that type of help than ever. And I appreciate the takeaway. Remember, everyone, to synopsize that, don't take for granted, let alone what other people are wishing for, but what you're wishing for. And we do it all the time. All right, Jake, we made it once again through another quantitative baseline year. A great delta was created, a great change, a great potential progress was made, even though we weren't aware of it every single week as we met here every week here at Breakfast of Champions. I want to thank Glenn Lundy, who created this, and Amelia, my dear, who I've known forever. And of course, our community, everyone here, people who want to help each other and people who know people that can help each other. That's why I'm here for over 23 years, to help facilitate the flow, to facilitate influencers, to empower others to be happy, to make more money, help more people, and have more fun, to be more interested than interesting. Most importantly, everyone, enjoy your New Year's, be kind to your future self, and do good deeds. Jake, can you close out the room, please?
Thank you, David. And we started the room off with flashing our mic for Amelia. Let's flash our mics for David. Thank you so much, David, for everything you've done for the whole community out the year in 2022. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your takeaways of the year. If you'd like to email David, it's just david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. We will see you all next year in 2023. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. And as Dave always says, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Thanks so much.